In this video we're back on GT Sport with a brand new season in the FIA Manufacturers Series. We're here at Red Bull Ring and as you can see it's raining. Let's see how we get on. Hey guys, Erie is here and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you like watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, then subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. Now, last time out was the first round of the new Nations Cup exhibition season. Here, you join me in quali for the first round of the new FIA Manufacturers Series season. As you will see, I've changed from Lexus and gone with Merc for this one. I just fancied it, to be honest. I like the way it handles, it feels quite stable, it's been fairly good on the tyres and fuel at the times that I've used it recently, so we're going to see how we do with Merc. We only touch on quali briefly here as a lot goes in this one that we need to cover. So we cross the line as time expires here with a 1 minute 47.9, putting us in 12th on the grid for this one. Now I was okay with that. It puts us again up ahead of our door number, which is 15 here, and in good position if we can keep this thing on the black stuff, that is, to bring home another decent result here. But as you can see, as we get the race underway here, that this is the first race I've ever done in the wet, so this is going to be easier said than done. So starting the race here, we are making our way down through the rain to turn number 1. Coming through the corner, getting this thing stopped here, but keep your eye on the McLaren, who's going to get on the loud pedal just that little bit too much and spin himself round, moving us immediately up to 11th place as we make the long run down to turn number 2. Now approaching the corner here, I'm going to get out of the spray so I can just about see what's going on. The last thing I want to do here is ruin my race, or anybody else's for that matter, by missing my braking point. Into a braking zone as heavy as that, but we make it through and I'm going to try and settle into some sort of rhythm more than ever here and try not to make any mistakes. Now you will see that I've not gone with the radar, which is something I usually do, because I have gone with the track map here, mainly because I don't expect, well I hope, that I'm not that close that I need the radar here, especially with this weather. I'm hoping everybody just keeps their distance and I can just flick to the radar as and when required. So track map instead of the radar for this one. Starting lap number 2 here, things have gone well to this point. I haven't binned it or binned it into anybody else and we are up 1 position, so all at this point is good. And as we come out of turn number 1 here, being careful on the throttle, as you can see my throttle input there, the Porsche up in front has had a big moment. He's had to get right out of the throttle and we are now alongside. I'm going to try and go round the outside here at turn number 2. So I'm going to try and brake a little bit later than usual, which is going to force us very deep into the corner and keep us on the outside, which is importantly going to give him room and allow us to straighten the car up as early as I can to get that power on. And as you can see here, it seems to have worked and we take the place round the outside up into the top 10 now. I'm very happy with how things are going at this point. So I'm going to take a moment here just to address the elephant in the room and the pretty obvious addition to this video. You guys will see in the bottom left there, for this one I have added my wheel and pedal cam. No, you're not watching one of my live stream repeats with just a simple lazy voiceover. No. I intentionally recorded and added this so I could share with you my steering, throttle and braking inputs, which you would have seen already as I try and keep this beast, as I mentioned earlier, on track. I thought it would be a good time to introduce it in this video, my first ever wet race. There are parts of this track in the rain that are just so difficult and you'll see me having to put in large inputs just to keep this thing on track, especially coming out of turns 3 and coming through turns 6 and 7, it's particularly slippery. And by doing this you also get a constant look at the equipment that I use, which is at the moment what I think is one of the best looking wheels on the market right now. my Fanatec McLaren GT3 rim, the link to which, if you don't know already, is in the description down below. But as always, I want to know what you guys think of it. Do you like the addition? I think it really helps tell a much better story of how I am driving. I really like it, as I say, but be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Moving ahead here one lap to lap number 4, we were sitting in 10th, but we make our first mistake unfortunately here. Coming into turn number 2, for some reason I just don't push hard enough on the load cell brake pedal and I carry on there past the apex. Being careful here not to come back onto the track and wiping out the Spaniard. You can tell that is part of my iRacing there coming in. I lose 10th and drop down to 11th. And to be honest, this is where my head went a little bit here. And this combined with the tyres that were starting to wear is where things really started to go quite wrong for me. Fast forwarding here to lap number 5, you can really see that I'm starting to push now by me putting in the fastest first sector of the race so far. But I shouldn't have been pushing this hard in hindsight because it's going to lead to the second mistake in quick succession for us. Coming down here to turn number 3, I again don't press hard enough on that brake for some reason. I think it's because I'm trying to brake as late as possible. I then ask the tyres to do too much here and round I go. You can see just how slippery the conditions are here as I try and get the power back down, but then it's going to happen again very shortly. So we've gone down to 13th for now, but keep all as we almost lose it again there, just having to work the wheel so hard to keep this thing on a straight path. But not even half throttle here, I'm going to go round again, dropping from 13th here all the way down to, you can see them there, 16th, 17th and 18th, dead last. By the time we've recovered here and got the power back down, we're going to be about 4.5-ish seconds off the back of the pack. Those three there squabbling for 15th. So I've really got to try and get my head down here, try and minimise these mistakes and see what we can salvage out of the rest of this race. On lap number 7 here, we're going to rise up one spot as the system goes wide at turn number 1, and then he's going to spin himself all the way around. So we clear and we're one place up now. Rejoining the action here on lap number 8, we are really starting to catch up to 15th and 16th now. The car, as you can see here, is really starting to move when applying the throttle as the tyres begin to wear. And you can really see that by the tyres going red there on the display in the bottom left. But I decided that because of my spins, I wasn't going to pit. It was a in the moment decision. Probably though wasn't the right one at the time in hindsight. It was a double negative for us here as my rears were extra warm by the spins themselves and the rears spinning up when we were trying to get back up to speed. As we come out of turn number 1 here, you can see that the McLaren there has elected to pit, but we're going to get a good run on him down into turn number 2. He's going to go to the left here, which is going to give me a run up the inside. I'm going to brake as late as I safely can here and try and give him as much space as possible, which is probably quite a good thing as he cuts our nose right off, but then he gets on the loud pedal a little bit too early and comes right across my face, binning it there. I actually give him a slight love tap there and I get an SR down for the privilege, but all things considered I can handle that as thankfully I did not get a penalty. Fast forwarding slightly here to the end of lap number 9, keep your eyes on a Toyota up ahead. He's going to bin it here coming out the final corner and comes back on track onto the racing line. Now, I've never trusted the ghosting here, so I instinctively take evasive action and sympathetically throw it into the barriers myself. I think this has stemmed from a few instances whereby the car in front, or any car really recovering, has unghosted right in front of me before, so I tried to move, and the combination of the weather and the fact that I haven't changed those tyres yet meant I lost control and I smashed into the barriers, giving myself some damage there. We're on lap number 11 now, and I told you things started going pretty poorly for me. I lose it again coming through turns 6 and 7 here, one of the danger areas that I actually cited earlier on. And after this, my latest spin, I knew that it was basically game over, so I decided to go for broke and pit, giving me 4 laps to take 11 seconds out of 16th to try and avoid not coming last. As I was circulating around here pretty much by myself, trying not to come last, I must admit I did contemplate going for it again, but in the end decided not to. If this was how it was supposed to go for me, then I'm going to accept it, and I wasn't going to try and force a better result, artificially in my view, by going again. I had my one shot here, and that is that. For me, if we're calling it a simulator, it should be simulating real life. It should be one and done, especially now that they have sorted the disconnect issues that they were having earlier on. Well, they have done for me anyway. But as I always say, I'm honest here on this channel with my content and will continue to be. If you want to watch perfection, there are plenty of other channels out there who can give you guys just that, but that isn't me. And I'm pretty comfortable with that, to be honest. I am trying as hard as I can whilst juggling the real life stuff that I have to get there. Races like this one as well are just all part of the story that I'm trying to tell on my journey to getting to A+. I also hope that the addition of the wheel and pedal cam will give you guys a little bit more of an insight into my driving as I learn and try and get better. One thing though I might implement is a practice race, as I did admittedly get caught out by the tyre wear in this one. But we will see, as it's a bit of a squeeze if you've got a full-time job like I do, to come home from work midweek and find 2 hours to have a practice race, followed by the actual race itself. Maybe I can find some time at another point during the week, but hey, I'll work that out, I'm sure, somehow. I was making progress, as you can see, but then had time to squeeze in one final spin on the last lap here, and then, rather embarrassingly, time expired on me. So here is my DR. As expected, a slight drop has been seen here after that one, but I'm going to remain positive here though. We had a couple of decent results and the pace was there, so hopefully in the next one I'm going to get back on track. But until then guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.